Okay, I think we are live now. Hello, everyone. I think folks will be joining us very soon. We're live. We are live. Yes. Okay. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So would you be changing the slide?
Yeah, I will change it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So we are live. Can you confirm from your head that we are live? And we are live. Yes. I got a notification actually, my phone. We are welcome everyone. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we are live. We're live and direct. Yeah. Hello everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Whatever the time, wherever you are. I want to say maybe I should just use the generic one. Good day, wherever you are. And I want to really welcome you back to this stage, back to the platform, back to MCAP events for August 2024. No, we're really grateful. We're so grateful. We thank God for what we've been able to achieve so far. We thank you for your comments, your feedback, and everything. Thank you, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for leveraging what you've been learning on this stage. We are a work in progress, and I know that. So please, we are open to feedback. If you have anything you think we can do better, or any information for our team, please don't hesitate to share them. So again, you are welcome. Today we have something very interesting to talk about, and I will try as much as possible to make it more practical. And I'm trusting that you will be able to take whatever you learn here and apply it in your life, in your career, in your businesses, and everything. At the end of the day, we're going to be having time for questions and answer. So please, if you're wherever you are, can you say hi? Can I just see that? So that I know you are here, so that I know I'm not by myself here, only by myself. So wherever you are, could you just say hello, hi? So thank you, Amarashi. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if you don't mind, you could put, I like Pa. Thank you, Pa. Yeah, you could put your location as well. You could put your location so that thank you, everyone. You can put your location. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Tenny. Esther, I can see you. Yeah, let's just do that for the next 1 or 2 minutes. Then whoever is OA, I hear you. So please let's do that for 1 or 2 minutes, and we get the ball rolling. Maybe we should have a kind of background music next time. Josh, consider that so that we can actually ease people into the session, right? Maybe you should take note of that next time, Josh. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we do. While we are here, let me use this opportunity again to kind of introduce MCAP to us, or introduce you to MCAP again. So, George, can I have that slide where we have about us? Thank you, Sheung. Yeah, thank you very much. You know, and I've said this, and I will say it again. MCAP, the full meaning is Marketplace, Kings and Priests Global Network, which the short form is MCAP. It's a Christian faith-based organization, but everybody is welcome. I got the inspiration to start this as part of my passion to serve my community better and to give back to my community. And I was able to leverage on my relationship with some good guys out there, and we started MCAP last year. So we are dedicated to empowering men and women to thrive in their careers, businesses, and vocations, wherever. We equip people with the skills and resources needed to become effective leaders in the marketplace. Our focus is in the marketplace. We thank God for so many pulpits in our churches, but we want to have a series of different type of pulpits in the marketplace. And how do we achieve this? We achieve this by hosting virtual seminars every month. At some point, as God will be helping us, we get to a point where we can do in-person seminars. So we took our cue from what Jesus said in Revelation 1:6, when Jesus said, "And he, Jesus, has made us kings and priests unto our God." So we are supposed to be the light of the world. And the light is not only to just be in our churches. The light is light of the world, not the light of the churches. So, and that's one of our goals, to equip you with skill, and that you need to be a leader in the marketplace. If you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're an accountant, where you become so effective, impactful in what you do, that the Bible says, and men will see your good work and be able to glorify your Father in heaven. So what we'll be talking, the concept we're talking about, the concept we bring from businesses, business concept, psychology, and many things, scientific and all those things. But our goal is to serve our generation better, to be good ambassadors of Christ. We should not just be Christian by work, by name, but by how we impact our generation. So, like I said, this is open to everybody, because as you see, the concept you're going to be learning is applicable to anyone. The Bible says, "Thou seest a man diligent." He's a man. Anyone can use this, and they will say good turnaround. So, and like we are growing, and we need dedicated volunteers. One of our challenges is people help. I have to say that here. So if you are driven, if you want to be part of us, we are open. Come, if you have a special skill that you can use to help us move this work further, we really appreciate that. Yeah, I think in the next 1 minute, I will start what today is all about, is how to harness the Goldilocks rule for career advancement, for business progress, and also in your personal life. I like to talk about principles that I have tried, that I have used. Of course, there are some theoretical principles. Yes, fine, but have you tried it? I have tried what I'm teaching, and I will try as much as possible. Why I don't want to go too much in personal, I will try as much as possible to share some of my personal experiences. So, and today I will talk about what is Goldilocks rule, where did the idea come from, um, and talk about some key ways to leverage Goldilocks rules, and then we take an example, a case, and then we run through it and see how we can apply Goldilocks rule to do that. So at this point, I will hit the ground running. So the question is, what is Goldilocks rule? But before I go into that, I want to quickly look at a concept in psychology. In 1908, two people came together, Yates and Dodson. They came together and they came up with a law we call, the law was named after them. And what this law says is that the law describes the relationship between stress and task performance. That's what the law, they did a lot of what they found. They plotted performance against level of stress. And they were able to identify different phases in between, as you can see on the chart. So what they are saying is that they find out that if you have a too easy challenge, a challenge that is too easy, it leads to boredom. In fact, their study shows that if you have a challenge that is too easy, or you are on a task that is too easy, you can be stressed. It could be stressful as well. At the same time, they found out that if you have too hard, which many people will associate with, if you have a task that is too hard, it can also lead to stress. So their work is to find the right balance, that where is the optimum or optimal location where a man or a woman or somebody could be to perform optimally. And that is what they were trying to do. So this law talks about flow state, and I'm going to talk a lot about flow states. And it says that when you get your optimal location, optimal level, where you can balance performance rightly with level of stress you can accept, then you get into a state called flow state. And when does this happen? This happens when someone is working on a challenge that is not too easy, not too hard. And we see as we go, you get into a flow state when you are working on a challenge that is not too hard, not too easy. So what it suggests that when someone is in a flow state, and I've experienced this, and I will share that with you. When someone is experienced is in a flow state, they focus on the tasks at hand and work at full capacities. Have you been in a situation when you do something, you say, "Oh, I didn't know time has gone this much," because you find yourself in a flow state. And this is what happens when you are watching your favorite movie. Maybe you just realize 3 hours you are still watching it, because it's combining. Of course, might not be a good example, but it's a place where you are not aware of the constraint anymore, because you are at a level where you are just enjoying it. Especially some high suspense movie, you want to see what is next. You can do the same. You can trick your brain to come into a flow state where you complete a task without actually thinking about it. So that is that. Now, the flow and high performance state that I was talking about, research has shown that there are three inputs into three things that need to combine to take you to a flow state. One is having clear and specific goals, that you want to do something, you are clear about it, and your goal is specific. The second one is having a system of immediate feedback, that and when you have you go, this is what I want to achieve, you have something to let you know, tell you how you are progressing, how you are, if immediate feedback that shows you. And I go back to the example of the movie. You are enjoying it, you are relaxed, you just want to see what is happening. So you can tell that you are enjoying the movies. There's something in your brain telling you that. And the third one, which is very, very important, and I'm going to talk more about that, is that the challenge above when you are at the flow state, the challenge you are facing is above and outside the current skill level. Now, let me leave the movie so that we don't get so that when you are performing a task and you want to attain a flow or high performance state, you have a clear and specific goals, you have immediate feedback system, and the challenge you are doing, what you are working on, what you are doing is above and outside the current skill level. The research shows that if you can combine these three things, you will attain flow or high performance states. Now, and this flow state is a state of continuous motivation. You just want to flow, you just want to continue. So when you can get, and the problem we have in our life, in our career, in whatever we say to do is that we find it difficult to get to that continuous motivation level, or we flow out of it. So you say, I'm not motivated. But what we are going to look today is how can I use Goldilocks rule to maintain continuous motivation in whatever I set my heart to do. Now, the good thing is that the third input is the most important, is what's going to be the focus of our conversation today. And this is where the Goldilocks rules comes in. This is the note you want to be eating at every stage of your career development. You want to be eating, operating at the Goldilocks zone at every point stage in your career. So interestingly, the second point is needed to identify the third point. So we'll talk about that. So let's start unpacking. So what is Goldilocks rule? Or some people call it Goldilocks principle or Goldilocks effect. And where did it come from? It's funny, this concept actually comes from a children's story, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So the main character there, the girl Goldilocks, discovered that she was asked to taste some set of porridge. So she discovered that, she tried the cold one, the hot one. She found the one in the middle. What she did is that she discovered that it's a satisfying porridge when it is not too hot or too cold. And that's where the idea came from. So the main character Goldilocks discovered that finding the balance between two extremes can be satisfying. And that is it. That is where you get the motivation. When you can find the balance between two extremes, then you have the flow. And the idea is that people are drawn, generally, what we are trying to do is to find just the right amount of something. Even in everything we do, you want to have a right balance. Maybe in a relationship, people come into your space, you want to have, and that is what we are going to be leveraging on. That is where Goldilocks will come from. Now, business people, psychologists, and somebody that has done a very good work on this stage is a man called James Clear. I have his book here. I bought a lot of books actually that I'm going to be sharing, so that you can see some of the book that has actually helped me in mine. So the guys, this is the book, Atomic Habits. The guy used the Goldilocks to talk about how you can. Maybe James Clear has to pay me for this, to talk about how to form and sustain a good habit, and also how to do away with the bad one. So what James Clear was saying is this. So leveraging this thing is saying that maximum motivation occurs when someone faces a challenge that is just manageable in difficulty. That's what he's found. And he was using this to encourage people to change a bad habit. He's saying that if you plot motivation against difficulty, if it's too easy, boredom is less, it's going to be inevitable. If it's too hard, you're going to be discouraged. That there's a zone called the sweet spot. That is the Goldilocks where you want to be. And I will set an example. Imagine you playing I don't know many of you if you play chess. If you play let's say you are not too good, but you know how to play chess, and you are playing with a 5-year-old son. Maybe you are playing with your own 5-year-old son. You are better than the boy. You're going to beat the boy over and over, right? So what happens is that it's going to get to a point, because you are the one winning. Even though you are the one winning, you're going to be bored. You don't want to play. You don't want to play. You just well. I remember sometimes I go to play soccer with my son. He doesn't like soccer, but just let's go play soccer. 5 minutes into the game, I'm just done. I'm done because he is so boring. He's not engaging at the level I wanted. And now, however, when I go out to play with people that really know how to play, and they dribble you like nobody's business, you get to a point say, you know what, I'm done. But what Goldilocks rule is all about is that find the match, find your match, then you can sustain motivation. So the case of chess I was talking about, if I were to play with one of the grandmaster, there's a guy called Magnus Carlsen. He's going to beat me blue black. I'm going to be discouraged. I'm going to throw that idea of chess playing. That's it. Finding that. So the key thing, and we're going to be talking about today is how to actually learn to identify the midpoint between boredom and failure and stay there. Whatever you set your mind to do, whatever goal you set up, once if you can find that midpoint, the sweet spots, then I'll stay there. You good. You will be good. Right? You will be good. So the question is this. Yeah, sorry guys. I think the slide I have here is the one that I'm going to change this. So if you don't mind, give me 1 second. Yeah. So I'm going to, let me put another one. Okay. Okay, sorry. Apologies, guys. Slide. I have a better slide. Upload. Apologies, guys. I noticed that I have one that is okay for StreamYard. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one we should have. Sorry. So the point is that why this thing is loading is up. So according to him, James Clear, he's saying that you need to make sure that you have that maximum here. We have the slide right here. So let me add to stage. Okay. Oh, excellent. Oh, absolutely. Oh, you see the same. That's what I have. Okay. Okay. We just run with it. Okay. Okay. So what Goldilocks is saying is that you need to find that balance. You need to find that location where you want to be, and that the guy is not excessive. Well, he is saying that the human performance, human experience peak performance that is when you are obtained, when you can find that Goldilocks spot, when you can find that sweet spot, then you will experience peak performance. And once you experience the peak performance and you keep the conditions constant, you will maintain what we call the flow state. And I'm going to talk a lot about getting that flow state. So, and how to maintain it. He spoke about a lot of ways to do that, but we see that. Now, before I go straight into this, I want to ask, why does it really matter? Why do I need to advance my career? Why do I need to do this? Why? So why? So that's what quickly I want to say. Now, I have this post here. I saw this thing. I came across this and I really like it. And I would like to share it. He says, choosing a job that does not challenge you is choosing stability over fulfillment, choosing comfort over growth, and stagnation over potential. Now, start to think about it. Stability versus fulfillment, comfort versus growth, stagnation versus potential. Why the choice is yours. You can choose the one you want. But I can tell from my experience in industry at low level, at mid level, and at senior level, I can teach you for a fact why the choice is yours to say, oh, I just want to have it cool. I'm stable here. Some people will talk to me and say, oh, I just love my job, no manager, I just go to work by 4 p.m. I'm done, I'm leaving, no issue. When I hear people like that, they are so excited about it. I just shake my head because they are Why they might have the choice, they might, but the consequences of these kind of choices are far-reaching. And I'm going to talk more a little bit about that. There was a time I have somebody in my office. I've been in my company for 45 years. I was talking to him one day. We were just having lunch, and I said, "Sir, you've been here for so long, and you've been through a lot of economic cycles. That in those economic downturns, what happened to staff? What happened? How did you people cope? You know, because you have to let go and say." He said something that stuck with me. He said that at every point in time, it was easy to lay some people off. And I say, "How do you mean?" He said, "Even people that were laid off knew they would be laid off." This, I tell you, and I won't, because this is recorded. He said, it was easy. It was easy to say, this person is going out of the world. I don't care. Think about it yourself. Ask yourself sincere question. If something were to happen in my office today, hello, Damlola. Is that okay? I saw hello, Charles. Okay. If something were to happen in your office today, if they were to lay people off, will you be one of the first to go? You need to ask yourself. So that's what the guy told me. He said it was easy, and that's why. And I said something here. Please, we live in a profit-driven world. The reason why you are still keeping your current job is because your employer has not found a cheaper way, more economic, more cost-effective way to get what you are to do, what you are doing, to get what you are doing done. The day they can find alternative, cost-effective way to do that, you are going out of the door. So you need to be ahead of the curve. That's why this is very important. This is not just okay. This is very, very important. So you need to do what? Be thinking ahead of the curve. And question is this: when you stay in one place, you are denying yourself of a lot of good potentials out there. You see, career life is like a triangle. The more you stay at the base, that's why you have a lot of competition. If you can take yourself out of the base and move towards the peak, you have less competition, you enjoy your career better. You are going to be, you get to a point in your career that employers will be looking for your hand in marriage. Let me use that word. That's the place you want to be. Then you can negotiate better, you can enjoy your life and be more impactful. There's a story of somebody I love so much in the Bible, and that man was called Jacob. Jacob, when he had Joseph, that was his, I think, after like 11 sons, he already had 4 wives, many servants. He was already rich in our own definition today. We say Jacob was okay, he had everything going on for him, but don't forget, he was still in his father's in-laws house. But this guy got to a point in his life and said, when am I going to prepare for my own home? Well, this is what I'm saying. One of the reasons why you need to always grow, advance your career is to get to a point, because there will always be a better level, get a point where you can actually develop yourself in such a way that you yourself can prepare for your own home if need be. Right? You yourself can develop for your own home if need be. So this is, I cannot overemphasize this. Jacob was asking that question, when will I prepare for my own home? Ask yourself, what is my own home? What is my own home here? What is my own level of things I want to do here? So these are the things you yourself need to ask yourself at this point. Now, last time I was, can I have this in big, please? Last time I asked you guys on last April, I think April, I brought out this thing that take a pen and ask yourself some valid questions. Now ask yourself, what is more important to me and why? What type of life do I really desire? What type of family life do I want? What is success to me? What frustrates me about my current life? Am I living a life that aligns with my values? What reality of life I don't want when I turn 50? What legacy do I want to leave, and how do I want people to remember me? Am I on track to meeting my long-term financial goals? What's the regrets what is that regret I will not want to have at the end of my life? What type of retirement? These are questions you need to ask yourself. And I have this question in red. We might ask yourself, with my current career level or the way I'm doing my life, the way I'm exerting myself to improve myself, the current trajectory I have, will it lead me to be able to answer this question positively? What am I trying to say is that you need to start thinking. You should not be now person, be futuristic. Think about tomorrow. You are comfortable on your job today. Things might change. Nobody knew that COVID would come. Many people lost their job and new opportunities were created. That is the idea I'm trying to pass across here. Now, having established this, let's see how we can leverage Goldilocks rule for career advancement. And I started by this. Let's start with imagination. And please, I did this on purpose. You see, imagination. Somebody, I think, was from Samadeyemi, Reverend Samadeyemi, Dr. Samadeyemi. He was saying that the word imagination came from combination of two words. Imagine a nation, that is like imagination. That, and like you, I'm looking at myself, being Abikule, and I'm imagining myself lending to nations. Just thinking about it. So, and I want to encourage you, don't underestimate your life, yourself. So much more, God has deposited so much in you that if only you can think outside the box and have big picture about your future, that is when you start living. So I'm starting today. One of the ways to leverage Goldilocks rule is first, start with great imagination. Set big but clear career goals. Don't limit yourself. I tell you for a fact, I've seen it. You might look at your organization and see that you don't see a lot of people that look like you. And it might be so discouraging. But you can be the first person that will change the narratives. You can be. I don't know what you are earning today. You are saying, I tell you for a fact, there are better opportunities out there. So to leverage Goldilocks rule, you don't have business with Goldilocks rule, or this might not help you as such if you are not ready to actually imagine a nation. That is imagination. So set big but clear career goals for yourself. Make sure that they are so big that you yourself will be doubting that will this be possible? No, there's a book here I love so much. I have two of them, like one from Grant Cardone, talk about 10S rule, and I have another one that says 10S. This is really good, from Dan Sullivan. 10S is easier than 2S. Very wonderful books. Now, so 10S your career and life goals. Paint a strong picture of the future you like. I've done this thing, and I will tell you a story. In 2010, when I finished my master's from the University of Leeds in England. So, I went there, they gave me my gown and everything, and then we have this art that is different from people. I went to where they were giving people PhD gown. I told the lady that was there, I said, I know today is my MSc graduation, but can you please borrow me PhD gown and the hat just to take picture? The lady would look at me. I said, please, I will not leave this place. Just give it to me. And she gave it to me. I took the picture. One of my friends that took the picture, they only me there. I took a picture with it. I made a copy of that picture. I have it in my office, everywhere I go. Even though that day I was graduating with my having my MSc, bagging my MSc. My next goal was PhD. I knew I couldn't afford it because then it was very expensive, £15,000 per year at least in the UK, in addition to every other thing. But that goal was like a trophy. Every time I look at that picture, wherever I go, that this is my next level. I tell you, there's what we call law of attraction, but the Bible calls it as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. Today, I think a couple of years after, I bagged that PhD. I remember when I posted on Facebook my PhD graduation, that guy that took the picture, I've forgotten. Olumide, called me and said, Benga, do you know I was the one that took your picture that day when you were asking the lady for the gown? You know, that's it. Create a picture of the future you want and let it be like a trophy that you put somewhere. You start thinking about it. You have that big picture. You keep saying it. You keep looking at it. And I tell you, Dan Sullivan, the book I was showing, he said something that I want to quote. He said, the only way to make your present better is by making your future bigger. You see why? This is very, very profound. Where you are today is as a result of decisions or your action or inaction in the past. So, knowing fully well, knowing that if I want to have a better or a bigger future, I need to start now. So, the only way to make your present better is by making, for example, and this is very, very, let's break it down. There's some things I don't do, not because they are wrong, but I'm thinking about, for example, I did a research sometimes that the top CEO in the world, and I discovered that all the CEO in the world, none of them is obese. I tell you, check. None of the top CEO in the world, none of them is obese. I kept wondering why. It wasn't just an accident, just coincidence. No, it wasn't so good. These people are intentional about what they put into their body. Now, I told myself, if I want to join this league, I better be careful of what I put in my body now. So I'm making a decision now because of the future. Because I don't want to get to a point, God helping me, that when I have all these things together, I don't have the good health to enjoy it, if you know what I mean. So that's just one thing. And another person I love so much, Brian Tracy, he said something. He said, all successful people, men and women, are big dreamers. They imagine what their future could be, ideal in every respect, and then they work every day towards their distant vision. Distant vision, that goal or purpose. That is it. Please, today, start with, and that's what we are doing today. For your future, start thinking to make your future bigger. People always think, when I get there, when I get there, when I get there, when I get there. No, you start now. And I don't want to overemphasize that. So, and you remember what Norman Vincent said. He said, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will land among the stars. Imagine nations. You remember in Genesis 15, God told a 71-year-old man, or 70 in his 70, a childless Abraham, and God told him, go out, imagine nations. God was telling him, count the stars. That will be the number of your children. That was a man that had no child. That's the kind of mentality I want you to have about your life, about your career. Think big about your life. Make it so big that you are doubting it. If you are not afraid of your goals, they are not big enough. Now, when you do this, that's what we're talking about, to leverage Goldilocks rule. We get into that. Clarifying effective pathway, because you know why it is so problematic to have small goals. When you have small goals, there are so many ways to achieve small goals. Because we have so many ways to achieve small goals, they are not compelling. Anybody can do it. Then there will be multiple ways to achieving them. Because you have multiple ways to achieving them, then discouragement can set in. You are not setting yourself aside. So clarifying effective pathway to achieving your goals will be difficult, if not impossible, with smaller goals. So bigger goals make you a pathway thinker. There's a concept in psychology they call pathway thinker. That you have so much, and that's exactly when I realized I wanted to do PhD and I cannot afford it. I started thinking, how can you do PhD on scholarship? I started looking, talking to people. As a matter of fact, it was a friend of mine, Tosan, his name, that told me about the school where I did my PhD. He knew I was looking for that. He said, have you considered university area, what university in Edinburgh? Absolutely, I went. I never knew I saw that there was a scholarship. I applied for it. Bam, the rest is story. Because when you have that big goals, you begin to share. You begin to look for a way to get it. So And that's what James Clear was saying, that because goal determine the process. Once you have big goals, it will determine the process. It will cut off people you need to cut off. It will attract you to people that you need to attract. I tell you, there's some things. I hope a time will come, maybe in the next there will be some more practical things I can share on this. But at this stage, there are some things I cannot share because of some constraint. But in a couple of months, the constraint will not be there. So I might be able to share something. So now, another thing to know is that only when you make your goals impossible will you stop operating based on your current assumptions and knowledge. You will be open to new ideas and you will entertain different paths that you have never considered. And that is it. When your goals are so big, and then you stop operating, just know that my current level cannot take me there. Then I need to do something differently. You change your network, you start connecting with people, asking, and that's it. The good news is that only a few paths leads to achieving bigger goals. That's it. You know, what this book was saying, that Sullivan was saying in this book, is that the bigger your goals, it is easier because the path that leads to bigger goals are fewer. For example, if you are a business owner and you say, look, my client, maybe you are into client services, you say, I'm going to be focusing on clients that can invest 500,000 and above. You know what you have done? It looks so big, but you have limited the number of cold calls you are going to make. You are not going to be calling everybody because not everybody else can afford to invest 500,000. So that is what it is. Make your goal so big. Now, once you have created that big goal, I tell you, I cannot overemphasize it. And it does not matter whether somebody has done it or somebody has not done it. It does not really matter. There was a time about 2 years ago, my wife brought an idea to me, and I look at her and say, honey, this is not going to be possible, because I said, look, I asked her, look around us. How many of people around us has done this? How many people do you know? We've not done this enough. But when I bought into that, I realized that by the time we put energy together, the next question we're asking is, okay, we're going to do this, though it's bigger than what we can imagine, but how can we achieve it? I tell you, we achieved it. So please, now let's look at going into the weeds now, identifying one Goldilocks rule. I know some of you say, okay, how do I identify my Goldilocks rules? How? So we go sign that spot that as I'm speaking, I might call it G zone. So when I say I'm talking about Goldilocks zone. So how do I identify my Goldilocks zone let's say for a specific goal? Now, for illustration, let's assume your next big career move is senior management role. And everybody, you can apply this anywhere you want to. Let's assume that your next career goal is that you want to move to a senior management role in your organization. So let's now use this one to move on and see how we can apply Goldilocks rule. The first thing you need to do is self-assessment. There is a common saying that to thyself be true. Don't deceive yourself. Identify, do self-awareness and self-assessment. And there are so many tools out there. Start with SWOT analysis of yourself. Know your strengths, your weakness, the opportunities you have, and threats. Look inward to understand who you are and what is important to you. Your value system. What is important to you? Family. What kind of retirement do you want? How do you want that? Interest and passion. Your values. Your faith. Your values and priority for career satisfaction. And then in the last, I'm going to take leadership self-assessment, because your goal is to move to senior management level. Take leadership self-assessment. There is a tool they call a psychometric test called System Personality. Please, if you've not done it, do it. I got to know about it from Dr. Samade Yemi. It's very, very good. When I did it, it was wow. Start with knowing yourself. Start with knowing yourself. Now, please, And the objective is that when you know yourself, you can identify areas where you can work on. And please, let me say this. My aim today is not to help you to find reason to be complacent, because I'm not saying when you find my weakness, it's not for me. So this is my weakness. I'm not a good communicator, or I don't like to talk to people. I don't like managing people. The purpose is to identify it, not to now say, yeah, that's for me. That's not me. No. The reason is for you to say, what can I do to be better? So the G zone is a transcendent thing. It's something you do every stage, and it's not a one-off thing. So my aim today is for you to identify a Goldilocks zone for every goal you set with the following objective. To help you, it will help you to break down the task you need to complete, whatever task you are doing, and also identify gaps in your skill and capacity, and help you to work towards scaling up without burning out in the process. One of the key reasons why we're talking about Goldilocks is so that in the process of getting to where you are getting to, you want to maintain flow, you want to maintain motivation, you don't burn out. That's it. It's not to say, yeah, I've done my assessment, leadership is not for me. We are all born leaders. Sorry. People say some people are born to be leaders. Let me say we are all born to have to lead. However, you bring it out by training, by working on yourself. Anybody can lead. So it is a continuous process. Now, let's move into this, brother. After you do that, what are the things when you do self-assessment? Now, don't forget our goal. Our goal is that you want to move into senior management role. So when you do your self-assessment, the thing you should be able to bring out is that you should have to identify your strength and area for improvement in the context of what you are trying to achieve. Then you also consider leadership, strategic thinking, and decision-making skill when you are making your decision. Because when you are going to leadership role, these are the things you need. Then, in the course of doing this assessment, you need to seek feedback. Ask people, ask peers, ask your mentor if you have, your supervisors. And if you do, in my company, we do what we call performance review every year. You can actually see that to get an internal perspective on your readiness for a senior role. Again, you are doing all this not to say this is not for me, to let you see where you are. Once that, then you create what I call set baseline. You understand where you currently stand in terms of the roles and responsibility and the skill required for senior management role. And also, one of the things you are going to do at this, and this is going to be based on you, identify how long it will realistically take you to close the gaps. Please, this is personal. You identify realistically how you will be able to close this gap. That is what you need to do at this point. You identify, and we have different strengths. We have different strengths. I'm kind of me. I work best when I'm under pressure. My colleague will say, when they say, oh, the thing is due tomorrow, you can leave it to me. So I'm not saying that is good, but you need to identify yourself and your strength as well. Now, this is what I want you to know. There's a principle in management, they call it Peter's principle. Please, if you are Peter here, this is not picking on you. And what this principle, the principle, because the reason why you are doing self-assessment is this: you want to avoid the Peter principle pitfall. And this is a concept in management developed by a Canadian, Lawrence J. Peter. So what the principle says is that the principle says that people rise through the ranks until they are utterly out of depth. It is how good, that's because you've been on a job, automatically they promote you, especially if you go work in a place where the performance, you'll be here, who is the oldest person here, they promote you. And this is why you see some people, they say it's a good employee, but he became a terrible manager. Or he's very good tactically, then he moves to strategic roles, it's not doing well. That is Peter's principle. So people tend to excel at their job, get promoted, and suddenly find themselves in roles they are not equipped for. That is one of the reasons why Goldilocks rule is very important. you start by doing your self-assessment so that you don't come into this position. So my advice for you when you are doing this, be honest in completing this self-assessment. Be honest with yourself. Skill development is not a one and done thing. It is a perpetual cycle of self-improvement. So you identify it, you move on. Now, second thing you need to do, don't forget your career goal is to move to senior management level. Identify optimal challenges to attain flow state. The goal is to attain flow stage. That is the goal. And to do this, you have to identify optimal challenges that you need to be working on. Otherwise, you will fall by the wayside. So identify the right task and the number of iteration, I mean by number of steps, require realistically but challenging. I know I want to be, so what are the things I need to do? What are the tasks? What are the exams? What are the certification? What are the things I need to do? Identify those tasks and break them into phases. And this is the reason. Once you identify all of this, it could be overwhelming. Don't forget, we are trying to find our G zone, our sweet spots. Then if you discover that if I do all these things at once, I will come to the bottom stage. Or if I take too little, I will get to the other end, stress state. Then you break it. That's why I say set incremental goals. That is why I say if attaining flow will be difficult, consider phasing out the goal. Not phase it out, but don't change the goal. When you have a big goal and things are not working, don't change the goal, change the plan. And that's one of the mistakes people make. They have a big goal, things are not working, they go back and change the goal. No, you don't change the goal, you change the plan. If you are playing, some of you that follow soccer, the standard size of the goalpost is the same. It doesn't matter if you have a bad goalkeeper. As a team, you change your goalkeeper, you will not take fever that please can we reduce the goalpost? No. So in this case, for example, you might decide to break, let's say you want to become senior manager. You can break it, okay, phase one. Let me set achievable short-term goal that build on my current skill. Then let me see how I can manage small project or small team. Let me break it down. Instead of going to that senior, let me start with intermediate. That is achievable because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. Don't forget that you are currently on cold. You want to move up. If you take the bigger one, you might get frustrated. So stay in the middle. Then when you achieve that, go to the next phase, which is now aiming for your goal. Sometimes, depending on your strength or anything, you can have 4 stages, 4 phases. It's up to you. That is what you will have identified in the preceding phase. Now, key thing, I can keep saying this, is how to maintain the flow. Now, you now need to create what I call balanced development plan. Don't forget, I'm focusing on moving from your current state to senior management role. You create a balanced development plan, and mind you, that plan must be at what we call, there's a concept called talent to skills ratio. You must make sure that when you divide the challenge by your skill ratio, your current skill, the ratio has to be greater or equal to 1. That is the edge of your capacity that James Clear was talking about. That is all about Goldilocks rule. That is what that Dustin Law was talking about. That whatever task has to be at that edge of your capacity. So if your challenge to skill ratio is less than 1, you are not in your Goldilocks zone. You need to push yourself very close to the edge of the cliff. Then the adrenaline will flow. So how do you do this? You sort the task into 2 categories: easy task and challenging task. Typically, the challenging task will be the most important. And that's what we call, if you remember what they call Pareto rule, 20-80 rule. So start with the tasks that are within your comfort zone. Now, don't forget that a zone has a lower limit and upper limit, but make sure you are within that. But to start with that lower limit of your comfort zone, your Goldilocks zone, then build confidence and gradually take a more complex responsibility and move to the edge. You see, you can maintain flow when you get to that edge at the point when your talent to skill ratio is greater or equal to 1. Somebody will say, what is this? This is what I'm saying. Let's just assume that the challenge you have is 1. And your skill to do it is 1. Then to maintain flow, you will say 1, 1. 1 divided by 1, that is 1. That is still okay. Right? But some of you, as you grow, you discover that you want to be 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. My talent to skill ratio, my C to S ratio, I always want it to be always above 1. Below 1 or 1, I mean 1 on the dot is still not cutting it for me, and I will tell you more on this. You need to, that's one of the things you do to, it is the flow that matters. And I will cite an example, and I might have said this one before. And when you are doing this, don't take your eyes off the goal, of the trophy, the big picture. In 2021, I decided to do MBA, and I decided to go to U of A, and I went there on purpose because number one, it's one of the best business schools in the country, and they asked you come to class, and I wanted to come to class. So and then you'll be coming to class, and you have to complete 23 unit courses to have your MBA. For as a part-time, you have up to 7 years. I think you have up to 7 years to complete your MBA. I asked myself, because I know my Goldilocks rule, if I enroll on that project, I will not complete it. I know it. I can't do MBA for 7 years. It doesn't make sense. And I know some people did this, some 5-4 years. I learned average, when I spoke with some of my colleagues, people in my cohort, average of 4 to 5 years. But I told myself, no, this is my challenge. I work full-time. I'm a discipline lead, busy. I'm a busy dad, busy husband, and I do MCAP and I do some other things. But I know my talent to skill ratio. I told myself I'm going to run my MBA like full time. I know I can do that. Now, when I created, and again, I created the picture. Oh, how does it feel like to have my MBA in 2 years rather than 7 years? How will it help my current career? How will it help my goals? I started. I put the plans in place. I created the task. What should I do first? I know the prerequisite, those easy ones, those difficult ones. And I tell you for a fact, I started with difficult ones. I started with accounting. Coincidentally, those are courses that are prerequisite. You need to do them anyway. Now, when I started the first semester, I did 3 courses. It was tough. Some of the people I spoke to say, "Are you for real?" I said, "Yes." And I tell you, I don't know if Bola is here. Bola, we spoke, and I told Bola what I'm planning. Bola said it's doable. And today, we both and Bola said, I can do it. Both of us finished after 2 years. The point I'm making is that it was difficult, but it got to a point. It was too late for me to go back. I just had to finish because I've created that trajectory. It was just natural for me. I just flowed through it. 2 years, MBA, done, dusted. It was crazy, but I was able to do that because I was able to create a flow. When I got to that flow, there was no going back. There will be some days that I will be traveling. For example, I remember Bola will be coming from airport to attend class. Sometimes he will be leaving class around 10 p.m. going to airport. Very busy, but the flow has been created. You have to continue. That's what I'm trying to say here. Now, you need to maintain the flow, but creating the flow is very important. That's what I've done. There was a quote from Susan David that I really love, and I want to say it. He said, perhaps the best time to describe living at the edge of our ability, thriving and flourishing, being challenged but not overwhelmed, is simply whelmed, in quotes. And a key part of being whelmed lies in being selective in our commitments, which means taking on the challenges that really speak to you and that emerge from an awareness of your deepest value. I cannot overemphasize that. That's maintaining the flow. Maintaining the flow. Now, let's go. Create functional system. No, this is very, very important. Both are good for setting. Now, I'm talking about them. You need now to create system. James Clear said that achieving of goal has nothing to do with setting of goal, but everything to do with the systems you follow. You can set goals, but the system you put in place to achieve your goals will really ensure you achieve those goals. So what are the systems? Systems are supporting structures, processes, framework, or machinery you put in place to achieve your goals. After you've done this, you have to create this system. What are the systems you create? Number one, create a system of continuous learning. Create a system of continuous learning, because your goal will fail you if you don't set system. System of continuous learning, enroll in leadership and development goals. Don't forget, your goal is to go into senior management. Attend workshop, participate in webinars, and read relevant books and articles. Set daily and weekly learning goals. This helps you stay focused and ensure that you make progress on both fronts. And please, one of the systems you create, get accountability partners if needed. People that can look at you in the face and say you are dropping the ball. The second system you need to create a system of varied, now not continuous, varied learning activities, mentorship. My last April, during April this year, even Pastor Board when he was here, mentorship. Find a mentor who can provide guidance, share their experience, and help you navigate challenges. I tell you, there's something I'm working on. I sought a mentor who has been doing this for 10 years. He gave me a spreadsheet of what I need to do. Trust me, a spreadsheet of what I need to do. Life was so easier. I needed a lot of documentation. I spoke to a friend. He connected me to somebody who has been doing that thing. That guy downloaded everything I needed for me. That thing will cost me money and months. But I just under a few hours, just one person connected me. You are always one person away from what you need. Then networking, build relationship with other leaders, professionals in your field to gain insight and advice. Practical experience, that's part of the system. Take on projects that require strategic things. Some of you in your meeting, maybe there's something the team wants to do. They say, who's going to volunteer? You just sit down there. Oh, we want to organize a team event. Can somebody, you sit down there. You are not showing that you can lead, and then they say there's a promotion, a role. You say, oh, apply, I beg to apply. Nobody takes you seriously because you have not been proven. So engage in a lot of things. Sometimes look for voluntary opportunities where you can exercise what you've been learning. Another system you need to create, system of progress monitoring achievement. If you don't measure it, you can't know how you are growing. So how do you do that? You do regular check-ins, system of regular check-ins, schedule regular check-ins with your mentor or supervisor to discuss your progress and adjust your development plan as needed. Request feedback. This is very hard. Request feedback regularly and ask for feedback from your manager and colleagues to understand your progress and area of improvement. These are systems. Then act on feedback. It's good to have good feedback. It's your good feedback is not good if you can't use it. Reflect and adapt. Reflect on your experiences. Learn from any setback. And let me tell you, are going to have setbacks. And adapt your approach accordingly. It's more, like I said, when you have setback, don't change the goal. Change the plan. The fourth system, you need to create a system for maintaining work-life balance. This is very, very critical because don't forget that one of the goals of Goldilocks rule is to avoid burnout and stay motivated. So you need to have a system to make sure that you can do that. One of the systems is ensure you have a balanced schedule that includes time for personal activities and relaxation. Go on vacation, do something that you love, biking, do other things that you need that keep you to avoid burnout. Stay motivated. How? One of the ways to stay motivated, if you come my office, if this is not, and I tell people I don't owe you apology. All my qualifications, certification, you see them on my wall. When I come to my office on a tough day, I look at them. These are tough qualification and certification. When I look at my PhD certification on the wall, I remember 4.5 years of blood and tears. And I told myself, if I could do it then, I can do this. That's it. Let me stay motivated. Celebrate my achievement. No, you graduate, celebrate it. You hit a milestone, celebrate it. It keeps you. Call friend around to celebrate with you. Now, and these are the systems you need to create for yourself. And I tell you, they will help you. They will do what? They will help you. Now I'm doing home run now. You know, one of the things when I was studying for this, I discovered that women, they face a different challenge. And I was reading, so I didn't realize, of course, this much of this. And I came across this article. I will leave the link on this thing for you. And I will advise you to encourage you to read it. These two authors, they wrote the title of the article was The Goldilocks Dilemma. Why career advancement is so much harder for women than men, and what women can do to change that. So they said that women often have to navigate between being seen as too soft and too hard. And they made recommendation on how women can actually leverage this principle of Goldilocks rule to advance their career. I find it so insightful, so good. So please, I beg yourself the opportunity to read. Leave it in this thing and read the article. I'm not going to. So they claim that by using their attuned gender communication, women can position themselves as just right, and that's what Goldilocks rule is all about: just right, and advance in their career despite gender biases. I cannot but share this, and you will have seen this in all my presentation. And I have the book here. It's one of by Ray Dalio. And the one thing about the book is that if you go on YouTube, they've done extensive audio version that you can read. It's very good. He said something in this book. Let me have my slide. He said he listed 5-step process to get what you want out in life. And the reason why we have included this here is that we know that in life things sometimes don't go as planned. I have to tell you that challenges and opposition beyond our control may come up. We should not allow them to cause us to abandon our goals. And that's what this wonderful man Ray was saying in this book. And he was touching on that 5 process to make sure that you achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. Have clear goals, which I've spoken about. He said you should identify and don't tolerate the problem that stand in the way of achieving those goals. And that's what I was saying, that when you start doing your self-assessment, some reality will come. Don't accept them. What you need to do, you only identify, but don't tolerate them. Don't say, me, I'm not good at this. I'll tell you something. I know some people that have advised me on a good thing, and I hear that, okay, well, you have good content. Maybe if you can work on your enunciation and pronunciation, as a fact, until I get to that point where I probably speak like native, I will not give up. I will still be doing what I need to do. Right? It's an area of improvement, but it should not let it set me back. Now, third point, he said accurate diagnosis of the problem to get to the root causes. Design plans. Now, this plan, I'm talking about systems that will get you around the problems. Do what's necessary to put these things, this design through to result. Don't give up. So let's not allow ourselves to get fatigued doing good. You know, I love this thing in the Bible, Galatians 6 verse 9. I love it in Message. The Bible says, so let's not allow ourselves to get fatigued doing good. At the right time, we will harvest a good crop if we don't give up or quit. So, having said all this, there will be challenges, but don't quit. Don't give up. Now, I have a video. I was going to show this video in April, but I didn't show it. We couldn't play it. So I'm going to show the video for you now and see. Very
publisher came to me and he said, Stan, I want you to come up with another superhero. If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. We had already done the Fantastic Four, and I think maybe the X-Men, I can't remember the order, but my publisher came to me and he said, Stan, I want you to come up with another superhero. So I said, okay, and I went home, and when my publisher said do something, I'd better do it because I wanted to keep my job. I thought, what can I come up with now? And the most important thing in a superhero at first is the superpower. Once you get that, everything else comes along. So I thought, what power will I give a new guy? And I saw a fly crawling on the wall. And I said, hey, if I could get a superhero that could stick to walls and crawl on them, man, that would be cool. And no, I'm lying to you. I don't think the word cool was in use then. I probably said it'll be groovy. I'll never lie to you. So I thought that was good. Now I needed a name. So I said, well, let's see, Fly Man, Mosquito Man. I got down to Spider-Man. Spider-Man. It just sounded dramatic. So, okay, I had my hero, I had his power, his name, and then I figured just for fun, I'm gonna give him personal problems. Because except for you people who are that your lives are perfect, but most other people have personal problems. And then I thought I'd make him a teenager, because there were no teenage superheroes that I knew of at the time. So armed with all that wonderful material, those great ideas, I ran into my publisher's office and I told him. This was my reaction, the reaction he gave me. Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard. First of all, and he started to give me his, because he's a very logical man, very intellectual. First of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a hero Spider-Man. You want him to be a teenager? Teenagers can only be sidekicks. And you want him to have personal problems? Stan, don't you know what a superhero is? They don't have personal problems. Well, I left the office disappointed, but obviously a much wiser man. And I couldn't get Spider-Man out of my system. So we were about to kill a magazine. I think it was called Amazing Fantasy. It wasn't selling well, and we were sending the last issue to press. When you do the last issue of a magazine, nobody cares what you put in it because the book is dying. Just to get it out of my system, I put Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy, feature him on the cover, forgot about it. A month later, all the sales figures came in. My publisher came racing into my office. Stan, you remember that character we both loved so much, Spider-Man? He said, let's do him as a series. Now, why am I telling you this? Besides the fact that I have to kill a little time. If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. Now, that doesn't mean that every wild notion you come up with is going to be genius, but if there is something that you feel is good, something you want to do, something that means something to you, try to do it. Because I think you can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done. And if you can take pride in it after you've done it, no matter what it is, you can look at it and say, I did that, and I think it's pretty damn good. That's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's a great feeling indeed, and I believe that was the man that created Spider-Man. I never knew that was the story behind Spider-Man. But that's it we face in our life sometimes. There will be a lot of naysayers, and some of these things are legitimately so. They tell you can't do this. You look at your limitations and all those things. But the point I'm saying is that leverage Goldilocks rule to find the flow. You will be surprised that you can do it. When I told myself I was going to do, despite working full time, And I travel a lot. I just came back from the US. I've been there since Monday. I came back on Thursday. But that's part of my life that I can still do that, go to class and do my MBA full time. I couldn't believe it. But I could do so many other things. I just cited that because many people here we associate with that. So you can do it. Once you do, get your Goldilocks zone, maintain the flow. Once you get the flow, keep at it and make sure that your ratio, like I was saying, the challenge to skill ratio is equal or greater than 1. Thank you. That is so that is the end of my presentation, and please let us know if you have any questions. Question, you can type your question and I will pick it, or Josh can pick it and I will do my best to respond. And again, like I said, if you really want to be, you have a skill set you think we can, especially in the media and all those things, social media management, please feel free to reach out to us. Oh, thank you. Yeah, question, please. Yeah, while we are doing that, so I quickly want to say something about, even while we are doing this, there are some pitfalls that I really want us to avoid when we are doing, when you are trying to use Goldilocks rule. Yeah, I have some of them I listed here. Is don't overestimate yourself, your skill. Don't overestimate your skill. Be honest with yourself. You are, at the end of the day, there's nobody, you are not trying to impress anybody. And also, while I say that, don't underestimate yourself as well. There's no, you don't need to, I know you want to be humble, but don't underestimate yourself. And another thing I see, and I've said that, is another pitfall is that people are not open-minded to feedback. And it could be hurting sometimes. They give you something, it calls you through. And you need to be open-minded to feedback. They need to tell you. And of course, you have the right to choose people that will give you feedback. Oh, thank you very much, Kenny. So you should be open. Of course, if I select you to be a mentor, I am confident in your ability to tell me the truth. Okay, that's a good. Thank you for being very well done. How do you balance between aspiration and overestimating? Overestimating yourself. You want to be able to dream big things. How do you do that? Excellent question. Now let's have the question. Let's have the question. Don't take it away. Yeah. So how do you balance? And again, that's exactly what I'm saying is that aspirations are good, and aspiration is part of dreaming, having big dreams. Yeah, but you should be honest with you. Once you do your assessment, when you do the first step and do self-assessment, identify your destiny, you should be able to say, this is where I am. I want to be this is where I want to get to, but this is where I am. So there is a gap. Now, the problem is not that you want to be here. The problem is you thinking you are where you want to be, but you should be able to identify where you are, identify the gap, and don't overestimate yourself. And that's why feedback is there. Have friends, colleagues, and people. And your past experience should tell you that, look, you need to work on this place. You want to be able to dream big thing. How do you do that? Dream big thing. Think about it. Look at the pinnacle of your career. Where do I want to be? In April, I did a career planning development, and I gave an example of some career paths. By now, if I'm a civil engineer, maybe I'm a civil engineer, I'm a consultant. I know that there's a level called principal. That might be the level I want to get to, okay. Or do I want to leave technical and go to administration, where I'll be doing business development, client management, account management? We do all these things in consulting, leadership. You dream big. There's nothing. That's the one thing you have. Dream big. You see what Stan told us? Don't let any idiot tell you talk out of it. And sometimes I notice that the idiot that want to talk you out of your dream is actually not external, it's internal. Is that something in you? When you hear that voice in you saying you can't do this, say, shut up, you idiot, because it's not only from outside. You can do it. So it is not nothing wrong, but don't overestimate yourself, and at the same time, don't underestimate yourself. Find the balance, and if there are gaps, go for the gaps. That's what I was talking about. Create systems by which you can close those gaps. Thank you. Hope that's yeah, thank you. So any other question? Thank you. Any other question? So I was talking about pitfall, and we were just talking about that. Take feedbacks, and also one of the things is that okay, somebody's keep the question. Okay, keep the question coming. Okay. Yeah, one of the things is that please maintain a work-life balance. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Watch what you put into your body. Be intentional about, because at the end of the day, you need this body. You need this body to be able to. You need this body to be able to actually achieve all these big goals. Take care of your body. Don't, when your body clock is telling you that you need to, please respond to it. Respond. Take break. Go biking. Go do anything that take you off this thing. But again, don't forget the goals. Don't forget, and please remember, recommend. Don't let any idiot. If you have a good idea, don't let any idiot talk you out of it. So while we are waiting for more questions, I brought a lot of books here. I brought some books from my library that I really want to kind of share with you. Outlier is a very wonderful book. I read it's really good. It's a good book that you want to read. It kind of tells you about the system, unique system, environment to that. It was talking about, say a tree cannot make a forest. How to kind of create other supporting system that can help you to achieve whatever you want to achieve. It's a very good one. This is a small book, U Square. You can read it in 30 minutes. One powerful book written by Chris Pichette is really, really good book, U Square. Word's Choice from Dennis Kimbrough. No, it's also very good, especially for people like my color. It's this is a success secret of Black millionaires. You must have come across Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've spoken about Atomic Habits, James Clear. Grant Cardone, this guy will pay me. 10S rule. Ray Dalio, yeah, big was very good. I read it not linearly. I read it, I consult it. Then this is the one I'm currently reading, is awesome. From Dan Sullivan, is talking about 10S is easier. Of course, I have read 10S rule, but I realize it's more easier than doing the normal. 2S is what you normally do, but 10S is another level. And I realized from this book that it's actually easier to do 10S than 2S. That is easier to have bigger goals than the small one. It's easier to achieve mighty things than small one. It's really a good one. I have Grit. Oh, Angela Duckworth did a very good work here, because sometimes, like I was saying, you get to a point where things are so tough. You need grit. You need grit. And above all these books, one of another book that is awesome is my Bible. In addition to my Bible, these are books. I have lots of books. I invest a lot in books. I just brought this kind of Grit is also very. Grit is a good book. Yes. If you like Sharma, if you like Robin Sharma, Everyday Hero, it was given to me by one of my mentees, and very emotional something he wrote here. And I really love it. It's a very good book that it's Everyday Hero, and it's really good one. Then this one of my professor in business school recommended, the Getting It Right, is really a good one. This guy, they did a very good work on this. It's just about praise for getting it right. It's just decision making, how to balance these decision making things. It's really good, and so many more. So with that, thank you all for joining. I know today is a summer. I know a lot of people, but the video is there. Go on, listen to it again, and then if you have any question, please, our email. Can we have our email on the Josh? Can we have the contact? Yes, you can contact us with questions, or if you want to volunteer, be part of us. And please feel free. Or you have an event you want to invite me to come and speak, I do that. I really love to impact people as much as I can do. Thank you so much for sharing your money with me today, with us today. From everybody at everybody in MCA, we want to say thank you and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And please, if you want to also give us feedback, you can follow that email as well to do that. Thank you. Don't forget, eye on the goal, maintain the flow, and don't give up. Don't let any idiots talk you out of your big dream. You can achieve those big dreams. Thank you. God bless you.